After Moses by Michael F. Kane. Space cowboy Matthew Cole freelances around the solar system for jobs that allow him to work solo and ethically, a hard mix to find. After a job gone sideways, Cole begins to be open to having a crew and doing jobs that are still ethical, but might cause his loner heart to unthaw. Operating in a future where Moses, an AI construct, once helped mankind, it one day vanished without a trace or reason given. Cole and the rest of humanity operate in a world benefiting from the work of Moses, but how long can that last? Can an ethical cowboy freelancer and his ragtag crew survive in a harsh universe? Review. Another win for Indie Pub. I absolutely enjoyed this book immensely. I was about halfway through the first book when I ordered all the other books in the series in hardcover. It was a joy and pleasure to read the story. The plot, the characters, the setting were so well thought out and unfolding to always keep me interested. Here's my early complaint. You get too much story for what little you paid for this. Kane should have gotten at least 4 books out of this and charged you and me the same price for all of them. Now, with my tongue-in-cheek complaint out of the way, the adventures of the crew are very episodic in nature, and each one matches a familiar pattern of a serial without the old-time cheese. They are self-contained adventures. Here's the kicker. You can enjoy them without needing to read 8 books with a never-ending sword of Damocles hanging as the big bad. That is not to say that there isn't an overarching story in the universe. It is tastefully teased out as narrative interviews at the beginning of the chapters, and save one that differs as an important to the story, and peppered throughout the adventures of the crew. This is so smart and just downright enjoyable. I will say that it would have been nice to have just a little bit more understanding of what Moses did for humanity in terms of care and technology. The subtlety gets a little too much and overshadows some of the payout towards the end of the book. A small gripe. The characters could not have been written any better. The main character, Matthew Cole, is a likable and a mixture of a mysterious past, a hero paragon, and someone who can change when the situation calls for it. And it makes him so well-rounded, you almost forget that it's okay for authors to still do this. The crew collected along the way do not fade into the background. Each one is written like an actual human being you want to read about. In fact, some of the crew have some of the best lines written about them. Yvonne has an amazing character moment in a library that is subtle but very powerful and advances her character, maybe a little bit more than our main character, for a good purpose. The children characters, Grace and Davy, are just annoying enough to make you believe they are children, but they are able to grow and have purpose as the story progresses. Abigail, as the Shield Maiden co-bounty hunter, also has virtue and poise and agency and growth. I like that, at least in this book, there is no need to push a romantic angle with Cole. She does not take a back seat, only backs up where is needed, and works well in a team setting. Again, the plot are the stories, and there are stories upon stories upon stories here. Each chapter is a self-contained adventure, and so you get rise and fall tension and action and periods of rest. However, where a good roller coaster puts the big drop at the beginning of the ride, the end story has the best rising and falling action. Kane bought a lot of favor with his audience with all the other stories and gave them a wallop of one at the end. There is not one bad one in this bunch. There are none that don't have a purpose or fail to logically follow where our characters are as people or from their talents. This is just good sci-fi straight through. And yes, the Firefly comparison is probably appropriate in terms of setting and feel, but this is so different in such a good way, and we get more than one season and a movie here. The ending is nice as a setup for other books in the series, but you can easily be done with this one and just know that the world exists in the book that goes on. That's what I want when it comes to any sci-fi fantasy book, and I'm happy that this story has other parts. This is a high recommendation for me, and I'm going to say that this will probably be hard one to beat in 2024 as the book I love completely. I cannot say enough good things about this and recommend just buying all the books in the series straight out. A true joy. Final grade, A+.